race, many clubs have always been interested, many clubs have always been in discussions, so it's always been a particular deal. But what happened on Tuesday? Chelsea and Leeds reached an agreement, as I told you, a full agreement between the two clubs, between the president Todd Bowley and the president Andrea Radrizzani. Is an agreement for 65 million pounds, so full agreement between clubs, but not yet an agreement with a player. I told you Chelsea will need to negotiate the agreement now with Raphinha and with his agent Deco, who is the former Portuguese midfielder who also played with Chelsea, and they need to negotiate because it's not a detail, the personal terms in this kind of negotiations. Many times personal terms are really easy when a negotiation is done between the clubs because the player is only negotiating with that club, but in this case it's different because for Raphinha there have always been many clubs in negotiations. So what happened? Chelsea, after the agreement with Leeds that is still valid between Chelsea and Leeds while I'm speaking is 6 p.m. in the Italian afternoon on Wednesday. So after that agreement, Chelsea, so on Tuesday night, sent their contract proposal to Raphinha and his agents. They have still no final answer. They are discussing, negotiating. Of course, Raphinha with his agents is discussing internally of this proposal from Chelsea, but still no final answer.
No final answer, as you can see there from Fabrizio Romano, but there have been many trials and tribulations. Lots of new news to bring to you with Raphinha wanting all offers on table. Reports of Raphinha getting Dzeko to block the Chelsea move until Barca come back. Todd Bowley threatening to move himself away from this deal. It is heating up massively. Make sure you smash that like and that share button. Let's go. Today's show is sponsored by Private Internet Access. And this is something I use on my personal computers, work computers, and on my devices. Whenever you're using an open network for internet, whether at a cafe, whether you're at the airport, shopping center, wherever that may be, you need to encrypt yourself and ensure that your personal data is being protected at all times. Private internet access is available all around the world. And as I've mentioned, you can use it on your smartphone, your smart TV, laptops, iMacs, whatever it is that you use. This also gives you the availability to access content worldwide. So when you're traveling, it doesn't matter if you want to use your Netflix, the iPlayer, YouTube, wherever you are in the world, the VPN via private internet access gives you the ability to do so. Now, what the Football Terrace can do for you is give you an 82% discount on this product, plus 3 months free. All you need to do is click on the link in the description or scan the QR code on your screen during this video to sign up now. Chelsea, Barcelona, and Arsenal still all in the mix. And I thought it was important to share with you what Fabrizio Romano has said. A lot of people respect, hang on his every word, and care about what it is that he's got to say. But there are multiple reports circulating about this deal, and they're all variations of exactly the same truth. Raphinha hasn't decided where he wants to go. Equally, Barcelona have not yet made a bid that's acceptable to Leeds. Leeds United, as it stands, have told Raphinha point blank, we are not accepting less than £60 million. We've already agreed that deal with Chelsea. We are going to honour that deal. That puts Raphinha into an interesting position. We know that he wants Barcelona as his number one choice. I think this is a really interesting deal for Chelsea fans, and we'll come on to that in a few moments from how they feel about it, because the player doesn't have a 100% desire to join them. Matt Law told us just the other day that the terms have been broadly agreed. My interpretation, reading between the lines, is the wages, the squad status, squad number, manager, all fine. It's just, I like Chelsea, but I really would prefer Barcelona. But Barcelona are not offering enough money for me. It remains to be seen if Barcelona can get that deal done. Now, there are reports that have come out today. We've shared it in the Football Terrace transfer group chat that Barca might try to renew the deal with Dembele and sign Raphinha, which is kind of new because there's always this feeling that if they got one, they wouldn't get the other. And Chelsea are almost seemingly going to pick the bones of whoever is remaining out of the two of them. But now Barca are saying they're going to come in and try and get both. what's the, are they trying to encourage Dembele to re-sign on a cheaper amount? Your position's going to be okay. You're going to get playing time. I'm not too sure. Does Raphinha even fancy going to Barcelona if that's the actual case? Who knows how that's going to transpire and change things. But as it stands right now, Chelsea have the agreement with Leeds, not a full agreement, not a completed agreement with the player. So personal terms have been agreed in terms of the salary, etc. In my understanding and interpretation of what I've been told, but he hasn't agreed to join. There is a distinction and a difference between the two things. We'll come to Arsenal in a moment because they're also circulating as well. Why this is interesting for Chelsea fans is this news that's come out from Ben Jacobs, that Todd Boehly isn't prepared to let the Raphinha saga drag on. And I have seen a number of Chelsea fans pull on this. A number of Chelsea fans saying, hang on a minute. Why are we being strung out here? Why are we sort of playing in this game? Now, Man United and the De Jong situation was interesting. De Jong wanted to stay at Barcelona, but that was where he was at already. But he was always open to the move. It was simply a financial situation between Barca and Man United that slowed this situation down. And the financial situation predominantly being Barca needed to wait until now before they sanction the sale of players because they've had their injection of cash, meaning they can reinvest all the money in new players. Seemingly, Raphinha is one of those players. This is a little different. This is a player that, again, was open to joining Arsenal. Personal terms are not going to be a problem. Then the situation with Chelsea arises, but he's waiting on Barcelona. I think Chelsea fans are in this space of, hang on a minute. If we sit here and wait for this and then he walks away, there's an element of embarrassment here. Why don't we be the ones to pull away and say, listen, we're nobody's second choice. We're not sloppy seconds. You either want to come to us or you don't. We'll move on elsewhere. I'm getting that feeling from a number of Chelsea supporters. But I don't think you should be so hasty. I think you should wait a few moments. All we're seeing now is what normally happens in transfers play itself out publicly. We haven't had a transfer window like this in the sense of, since social media has taken over the narrative of transfers, the way fans think and feel about transfers is how 95% of the reports are written, constructed, and framed. Since we get all our social media updates on Twitter and on YouTube, transfer updates on Twitter and YouTube, as opposed to Sky Sports or waiting for the morning papers to come out. And even then, I'll give you an example of how this works. This morning, there was news that the Terrell Malacia deal to Man United was being held up because of complications between his father and agent. They were changing representation. This led to Man United fans panicking and fake outrage. Oh my God, we could lose him. They have the same agent. He has the same agent as De Jong. Could it have a knock-on effect? Could we lose De Jong? Oh my God, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Oh my God. Ah! Already resolved. Before the news was released by David Ornstein and Sammy McBell, that situation was already resolved. It was old news. But because fans demand instant daily updates, it feels more stressful because it's fluid. It changes at any given moment. By 6 p.m. tonight, Barcelona could pull out of this deal, and then the Chelsea fans panicking because over this, it doesn't really want us, are going to be happy because they've got their player. But in the old days, even 3 or 4 years ago, where the news wasn't as frequent, you may not have even been given these little updates and these little nuggets because by the time the news was ready to be released, it may have moved on. So if Man United's update on Malacia was tomorrow morning in the papers, when they're printing it tonight at 1 o'clock in the morning, if they'd have found out at 7 a.m. there's a hold up and by 10 a.m. it's resolved, they wouldn't have printed it in a newspaper, or there might have been a little subsection and line, but it wouldn't have mattered. The problem is now you are getting hour by hour updates, so it feels more stressful. And I think Chelsea fans need to relax a little bit. Now, interestingly, there's a story here from Andreas that says, Raphinha wants to see all offers on the table, then decide on his next club. What is not true is that he told Dzeko to accept Barca's latest offer. The Brazilian prefers a move to Barcelona from the start. However, he is also open to the option of joining Chelsea. This was in response to this report that stated that Raphinha has asked his agent Dzeko to block Chelsea's move for him, even though they have reached a 70 million euro agreement with Leeds. He wants to go to Barca. It is his childhood dream. Arsenal are still in the race and waiting. What's really interesting about that is how could Arsenal still be in the race and waiting if Raphinha has told his club to block the move to the club that he preferred over Arsenal and to have bid the right amount of money to Leeds? That does not make any sense. Of course, shared by an Arsenal fan, it reads very, very well for Arsenal, but it doesn't make sense to me. This is my understanding of it, and this is what the vast majority of reporters are saying in one way, shape, or form. Happy to join Arsenal, happy to join Chelsea, happy to join Barcelona. But Barca 1, Chelsea 2, Arsenal 3. This is normal in football. It's just being aired in public, so it's a little bit uncomfortable for fans of each of these clubs. Because if Chelsea get him, Chelsea, you're going to get bantered. You're going to get bantered that he didn't really want you. He preferred Barca. You're second best. But this is normal within football. You just don't get to see it. Like, so you know, it's normal. Absolutely. I saw people last night. I don't watch Love Island. I saw people grossed out last night. They found out that some ways of making wine are people treading on the grapes. Oh, I ain't drinking wine anymore. Are people treading their feet? Well, if you wouldn't have known, you'd have drunk it and you would have been just fine. Relax yourselves. Sometimes seeing the process is more painful than not knowing the process. You know, ignorance is bliss, as they say. But you could pick any one of those clubs. Chelsea is still leading this race right now because Barcelona haven't bid the 60 million. And many credible journalists do not believe they have the money to do this. So nothing has really changed in the last 24 hours. Although all these new reports are coming out, they're all a little bit of baloney. Listen to Fabrizio, listen to Ben Jacobs, listen to Matt Law. These are the three journalists with the best inside track on these deals. Of course, Ben stuff's already been played in the terrace. There isn't video footage of Matt Law as I play the Fabrizio so you can hear it what it is he said. The link for his full video is inside the description, so please go and check that out. Thank you very much. Fabrizio, of course, gives us full permission to use his content as long as we're sharing his channel, which we always do because he's one of the GOATs as ever. But listen, I want your thoughts and I want your feelings. How do you think this is going to go? Are you a Chelsea fan that doesn't want this to happen? Now, as we told you, we're sponsored today by Private Internet Access. I really mean what I said in the video. Protect your data from hackers, protect your data from advertisers, use the VPN, protect all your information, scan the QR code on the screen just there, or use the link in the description below. You have to use that link or that QR code, 82% discount, 3 months free, courtesy of the Football Terrace. And one of the good things it does as well, I'll just tell you. Say, guys, you know, I get to use USA Netflix here in the UK. It's absolutely brilliant. You get a lot more bang for your buck. I'd say another time it will come in handy. You ever go traveling when the Premier League season's on and you open up Sky Go app? You can't use it in other countries. With the private internet access, you can get it done now. It costs absolute pennies per day. Get it sorted out. Until next time, my people, take care. Goodbye. God bless.